Ladies and gentlemen of Terra, this is Eziel, Lancer on Feral Valley. This is weekly update number 6, and in my background here, I've got my good buddy Heavy M showing off his dancing skills apparently, and his party hat. So anyways, just want to do kind of the same format. We're going to go through, talk about what's been happening with Terra, then we're going to talk about some projects I'm working on, and then also talk about the Feral Valley server and some of the things that are going on in the Terra community overall. So as always, buckle up, let's go, and let's get ready. So let's go ahead and start off with Terra. I was kind of surprised there actually wasn't an update released yesterday. They've been doing pretty good as far as getting everything up and running. Every Tuesday generally there's been an update. So but what they've actually done instead is it's been more focused on articles and different types of guides. One of the things is they did a interview with a topic called Vanarch of the People, and it looks like that it was the GM Valentino from Passion, which was a pretty good read. Went through and checked it out myself, and I'm sure you probably have. If you haven't, do so. It's definitely very interesting. They also did a really good topic as far as with the different guides that they were doing. One of the main things that people are always concerned about is, you know, those little icons that appear above the mob's head or above your head. And so one of the things is they actually came out with a guide which actually gave you the indications and what they actually meant, which I thought was really, really cool. So definitely I'm going to link that off of here. Check that out. It'll definitely help you out as far as to be prepared for things. It's especially useful for the tanks and healers, so you can kind of see what's going on, and anybody that's potentially pulling aggro. Now, they also came out with another guide for remodeling and dyeing your equipment. I started kind of looking at that just a little bit. They go through on exactly how you can go through and take care of those certain things. I know I've done a video as far as on dyeing. I need to do one myself as far as in the future for the templates and how to create those and how to customize your look. It's definitely something that's worth checking out. I know there's a lot of people that are high level that are doing templates as far as lower level gear and vice versa, I'm sure. So make sure that you go check that out, those different types of dyes and those different templates. Now, one thing that Terra actually did do, as far as maybe I guess sort of as like an update, is they actually created a section called the Vanarch Collections, Creative Campaigning, and Stats That Rule. So you can actually go and see on the Vanarch selection page, you can actually select the server, the region, filter it down, and actually see exactly who is running for the various Vanarchs on your server. And they looks like they actually have the votes on what the percentages are so far as who's actually getting those votes. So definitely go look at that, because that's definitely very interesting information to be able to see exactly how things are going out on the servers and on the different Vanarch stuff. So I may try to post in some of these pictures, at least get the links in, because it's definitely interesting to see who's actually getting the percentage of those updates. They also did an update as far as talking about the political system. It looks like there's going to be another update that's going to be coming out, and they're going to introduce more of a GVG type Vanarch system. I don't know exactly what their ETA is, or if that's something maybe that's been, you know, ninja'd in early already. But basically, if you're level 40 plus and you want to try to contend for different areas GVGing, then what you're going to have to do is you're going to, you know, make it known that you're going to be running for that area GVGing. And the way I understand it is that it's going to be it's not going to be a 24-hour fight. It's going to be like a week-long event where you're basically open free-for-all GVG basically. So anybody that's running for Vanarch, you'll be able to kill them if they're 40 plus, and then you'll be able to get those point stacks as far as for your area. Now, I'm sure there's much more information to be coming out down the road for this, and then especially probably in the third cycle of the Vanarchs, you'll be able to actually see probably firsthand exactly how that's going to happen, how that's going to work. So I'm definitely interested to see how the different alliances and different guilds are going to band together and make that work. Now today they actually came out with the Advanced Guild Management Guide, which really didn't go into details on exactly how you manage your guild in Terra. It was actually more about like an outside perspective of how do you actually manage a guild as a whole. You know, what are the things that you can do? They gave some different ideas, I thought, which was really nice as far as when you're doing your raid runs or doing dungeon runs, you know, Famoka Prima, Baldur's Temple, things like that. They kind of gave some ideas on how to do a TKP system, or, you know, Suicide King. They had, you know, prioritizing, rolling, things like that, that kind of help give you some ideas on exactly how you need to run your guild. and basically try to help folks out, it seems like. So I read that earlier today. It was definitely a decent read, you know. So if you got time and you've got a guild that you're an officer of, a leader of, or you're thinking about creating your own guild, definitely give that a chance and check it out and see if it might be something that actually benefits you very much, to make your life hopefully a little bit easier. So now with my projects, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover as far as with what's actually going on in Terra. I know that with my projects have been kind of put on hold just a little bit because I've actually been doing more leveling. Myself, I'm actually at 25-30% experience almost, getting to level 60. So I've got like 130 million more experience to go. Going to try to get some more tonight, get some more tomorrow, and this week, and be ready for Saturday and for this weekend. Now, with the videos I've done so far, I've actually done the Van Ark interviews. I've done 7 interviews, not as many as last time, but I think that's more attributed toward the fact that I've been very limited as far as the amount of time I've had available to people, plus trying to schedule up and meet up with folks. So definitely, I wish I could get more interviews done. With it being Wednesday, unfortunately, I think probably at this point in time, it might not be worthwhile to try to do an edit video, get it up by tomorrow morning, and it's only there for a day and a half. But if you do just want to do it just to do it, I'm more than happy to get with you and do an interview when you see this. But going forward, what we're going to be doing is there's a lot on my plate as far as we just started the Gestapo, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about the Gestapo. But with running the guild and basically trying to do these other videos and try to level, there's lots of things going on. So I have a lot of different things that I want to try to do. Most notably is going to be that in the 3rd Van Ark cycle, I've got some really good ideas on what I want to try to do. So any GMs out there that did the interviews with me, mark your calendars. You know, sometime around the 3rd cycle, I'm going to start hitting up all the GMs. I need to get at least, if you're running for the Arun or you're running for Northern Shara or Southern Shara, I need my idea. I want to need at least 3 GMs. I want to at least get 3 GMs from each individual continent that you're running for, or what you're PvP for, whatever. So keep it in the back of your mind. After I get some commitments, I'm going to try to get some idea, give the idea a little bit more meat to it. But right now, I'm going to kind of keep my lid kind of shut on that for now. But until after the 1st Van Ark cycle is done. Now, some of the videos, I've got a couple of different Terra 101 guys I'm going to do now that I've kind of got things settled with the guild and got some things going on myself, about to hit 60. I'm going to kind of show some of the GM management style stuff that you can do. It's not very much, but it's enough to maybe do a video on. Also, we're going to do a video on private channels. I want to go through and explain how those work and how you could utilize those to better enhance your gameplay as you're enjoying Terra and going out and doing your thing. Then, of course, I've got my town videos I want to try to do, but those have kind of been really put on hold until I definitely hit 60 for that. So, and then, of course, you know, just working on random things, crafting and doing runs and leveling up. So, got a really good group of people here. So now, what I want to do is, now I want to switch to Feral Valley. So if there's anything in particular, if you're not on Feral Valley, stop at this time. If not, then no big deal. But what we're going to do is I'm going to go through and just talk about a couple of different things here. So what I've pulled up here is just kind of giving an update as far as on, let's go through, let's actually do the Van Ark stuff here first. So we've got the 2nd tournament of Van Arks here. So we've actually got on Arun, we've got Tranquility, who's actually leading. Now, when I was looking at the percentage breakdowns here, it looks like that they got about 27.5% of the votes. So it definitely looks like they've got a pretty good stronghold over Kittens. So they'll probably get exactly what they're looking for is with that. Now, I'm pretty sure that Kittens probably went for Arcadia. So definitely, it looks like everything's going to be good. So we got Kittens there. They're 2nd with 20%. Then we've got Army of Ellen. Let me pull it up. Yeah, Army of Ellen with about 17.9%. So there's a pretty good potential between Kittens and Army of Ellen. Maybe doing some swapping potentially. Then we've got Strength for him. He's actually got the 4th place, and he's actually pretty far behind with 10%, almost 11% of the voting. So I think that's going to be kind of difficult for him to move up to 3rd unless he gets a really good bump in there. Whatever, Lil Wolf, I actually had a good opportunity to talk with these guys, but to go ahead and tell you guys, this is really neck and neck. You got Origin, Anti-Dream, Income Corporation, and the Conspirators. All of these guys right here in this 5th to 9th place, well, I'll probably say 5th to Ophidia, so 5th to 7th. These guys right here are really, really close, between 8% and, or I guess it would be like 7.8 and 8.4%. So I mean, there's literally only 0.6% difference between these three guys right here. So make sure you keep an eye on this, because this is very, very subject to change drastically here. So all right, so let's go ahead and check out the Southern Aurora. So we had a couple of different changes here with this. So let me pull up my area here, Southern. Okay, there we go. So Southern Exile, Last Exile is actually doing fairly well. They've actually got 38.59%. They pretty much have locked up the Veritias district here with 38.59%. Second place is Death Before Dishonor. They're actually at 14.11. They seem to have a pretty good lock on Westonia. And then you've got Molten that actually just moved up at 10.27%. Chronic Outlaws only behind them by 10.22%. And then you've got Kill Switch, which is actually Zetsumi, who's actually doing that one at 9.98%. So these three right here, you've actually got a really close race. The difference really is only 29.29% for third place. I mean, this is incredibly close. So this is very subject to change, very drastically, very quickly, potentially. And then you've got Nova Sparrow, which is actually at 7.74%. They're just over 2% behind. You've got Rapture, Infamous, and Notorious. So definitely some interesting things going on here. I'm anxious to see how this will wrap up here with Molten, Chronic Outlaws, and Kill Switch, as they're so close together. Now, let's see, we've got Northern Shaw right here. This is actually a really, really good race. We've got Deja Vu, who's actually in first place, and then you've got Pawpaw second place, and then Inner Circle, and then 7 in third place, Warlords in fourth, and then Art of Soup, who's actually in fifth place. Now, the top two spots are really, really close. You've actually got a 0.10% or 0.1% difference. Rayon with Deja Vu has 20.22%, and you've got Pawpaw with 20.12%. So I actually did get a chance to talk to Pawpaw. They've actually, from what we understand, is that you're going to be able to take all of your Van Ark policy points and move them over into the next cycle. They apparently have got over 30,000 Van Ark points, so that's going to be, I think, is a really good selling point on their end. Deja Vu 7. 7 is at 16.91%, but it's a really close race for third, because you've got Warlords right behind them. Again, literally only 0.14% difference, because Out and 7 have got 16.91%. Warlords have got 16.77%. And then if you got Soup down here with 11.26%, kind of out there by themselves a little bit at 11.26. And then the next place, which is Hive Mind, they've only got 7.47%. So, I mean, there's a pretty good gap between 5th and 6th. But in 6th place, there's Venom is actually really close behind Hive Mind by only about 23 or 24% there, 0.23 to 0.24. So some really tight races going on here for the Feral Valley Van Arks. So I'm very interested to see how some of these are going to play out, see if any of these are going to switch out. So I may take a look here tomorrow, maybe early Friday, do a quick rundown on that. A really quick video to hopefully help people out and see kind of what has changed here. But overall, you know, I think the Van Ark stuff's been going pretty good. I'm really looking forward more towards the third cycle after this is done to get some other things going and rolling for us. So yeah, it's pretty nice. I like it. Okay, so that's pretty much everything as far as on the Van Ark stuff. We've had some issues and topics that we've discussed as far as with pull up my map here.